So Tom Wagner will have a wry smile, thinking, "Well, yeah, but they're all talking about it."
Ex-
That's what I wanted. It's regardless of whether it's generated opinion, and
yeah.
that's what they want, and that's what architecture does, and it is architecture.
So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And yesterday was the day, as a fan base, I'm sure a lot of us were finally waiting for. The stadium got revealed by Tom Wagner at the launch event, and it's called the Birmingham City Powerhouse, 62,000 seats, and it looks absolutely fantastic with a brilliant nod to our industrial revolution elements, the Birmingham City, and our history there with those chimneys, which, as you'll admit, I'm sure is unique and looks incredible. So, Dad, what were your thoughts when you first seen the stadium?
Wow, I mean, it's iconic. It's unique. It's everything you'd want it to be. I mean, there's so many stadiums out there. So Birmingham City, they could have showed us a design yesterday that would have been the typical type of steel, concrete, and glazing bowl. That could have happened, okay? But this one stands out. I think it's a very bold design, and as you mentioned, Matt, it represents Birmingham perfectly. And what I'll talk about in a little bit as well is about the significance of those chimneys, because it's not just about the heritage. It does brick chimneys represents obviously Victorian Birmingham and prior to that and the brick making, but there's such a significant, such a clever design, so clever. Now I've looked at it and I'll talk about that as well. But what did you think about it when you first saw it?
Yeah, in the introduction to Canada, I used the word iconic in a very specific way because, I don't believe there's a stadium in the world like it. And, as you said, it could have been a flat pack. Like McDonald's is
Yeah.
just a flat pack, basically like a Lego piece that goes together.
Yeah.
We have that in football stadiums as well. It's a flat pack bowl. Again, Coventry, CBS, Middlesbrough's. There's a couple
Leicester.
Leicester. There's a couple that just have that standard generic bowl, and this isn't going to be that. At least there's an iconic element to it. You're going to see this for miles in the distance.
40 miles, I reckon.
40 miles. You're going to be able to see this thing. I think it will bring people to Birmingham just to have a look at it. It's going to be that iconic.
Yeah.
And as I said, I love all the elements to it, Dad. It's got the red brick. It's obviously got the chimneys, which seem to be the polarised element, which we can talk about in a minute. But it's also got those really sleek elements of glass and the steepness to the seats inside, everything they've done. Again, I'm sure we're going to get the finer details as we move forward as this starts to get built. But at the moment, it just looks incredible, don't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's designed by Heatherwick Studios and MANICA, who are an American-based firm, and you can see they've obviously you can see they've got a track record in designing these type of stadiums. But I think for Birmingham City Supporter to see that. It's staggering to think that's going to be our home. It's unbelievable. And what they've done is brilliant because you can't win, can you? Because
No.
they could have. Everybody's got an opinion, and this is actually architecture. It's proper architecture. It's something I agree with you. People who want to come and visit, they want to come and have a look at it. They want to have pictures taken outside of it. It's generated a huge amount of interest worldwide already. From all sorts of different channels, and it really is, a credit, I think, to Tom Wagner keeping his promises, saying that he would produce something that would replicate the heritage of Birmingham.
Also, Dad, I think we kind of flew past it just straight into the design. I'm sure we'll circle back to it in a minute, but I thought the event was done really well as well. The introduction we saw Jude Bellingham looking at the plans in the boardroom. We had that opening speech. We had a band playing at the end. We had Tom Wagner coming on stage and introducing it. So the event looked like it flowed really well
Stephen
and
Knight
nicely.
did
Stephen Knight,
he did that film, that short film, which included Jude Bellingham in it as well. I thought that was fantastic as well. And I love the bit at the end as well. Do you know where it all talks about the history? And obviously you've got like Jude Bellingham surprised, Tom Brady's in there, saying that in for a real basic treat with this. And then at the end, Tom Wagner's on the wheel site explaining that this is going to become. I love the way that he mentioned as well. We're building this stadium out of the ground, out of the old brickworks, and it's almost like Birmingham got sort of not completely, but a lot of its industrial history is now gone. This is going to bring the reminder back, and I think that's what architecture should do.
Yeah,
I know it's very divisive because of course there was always people teed up to give negative comments, regardless of what we built.
We can't win here if it's a flat pack design. No originality whatsoever. We completely break the mold and do something outrageous. That looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look, where's the middle ground? But this is why FEA exists. It doesn't doesn't matter what other people
But
think.
I think Tom Wagner will have a wry smile, thinking, "Well, yeah, but they're all talking about it. That's what I wanted. It's regardless of whether it's generated opinion, and that's what they want, and that's what architecture does. And it is architecture. When you look at the actual rendering of the stadium from a distance, it just looks like with the chimneys in the distance. You can't really see the detail. You have to get into the renderings that they've done. They're brilliant. Have you seen the interactive rendering?
Yeah, I have.
You actually scan around the stadium, and when you go, I love the ones inside the stadium. I'll tell you what I really like as well. The other ones where they've mocked up where there's concerts in there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that venue for with the roof closed for all sorts of events is going to be absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
But for football matches, it's going to be outstanding.
Yeah, everything they've done with it, Dad, the acoustics, the roof, all those different elements are going to make that atmosphere. I mean, what I love, my favourite image so far is that kind of nighttime with the dark blue and the smoke's coming up from the chimneys.
Love that, yeah.
Because Birmingham City, Dad, everyone knows St.Andrews on a Tuesday evening or an evening game is a pretty hostile place to go. Imagine that new stadium in low light with a bit of smoke. It's going to be fantastic. And I was just so buzzing when I saw it because it's almost like, the doubters. I mean, I've still seen people commenting going, this isn't going to be built.
I've seen that.
I've still seen it.
A common comment, well, how are you going to fill it?
How are you going to fill it?
Yeah,
of course.
that's a common comment.
But people seem to forget it's 5 years' time.
And a lot of people making comments. I don't want to dwell too much on this because there's always going to be negativity. But some of them are saying, well, they can't even fill their current stadium. But anybody who knows anything about Birmingham City will know that we've sold out every single game. Yeah. Every single game.
And also, people say, this really annoys me. They say, you're only selling out 17,000 like 3 seasons ago. Half the stadium wasn't available because we knocked it down. It was a full house. It was just because the bottom half had gone down.
Well, we proved from Wembley there was we had 50,000 fans at Wembley, plus we had there was 20 odd thousand who were still in the queue when the last ticket was sold.
Yeah.
So we have got, and also as well, Matt. One thing that people have to realize, we're currently in the Championship and we're coming off the back of a really really poor number of years where we're just starting to recover. Once we get the team that we know that we're going to get and we start to play attractive football and we do get into the Premier League, it's going to be selling out itself. It's not going to be a problem.
Exactly.
And and of course people will look at this from other clubs and say, that's delusional, blah blah blah. But honestly, I don't think people outside of Birmingham City understand the scale of our fan base.
Well, there was delusion when it first got announced. There was delusion when it was talked about progressing forward. When Rachel Reeves was at the stadium, delusion. Now the plans are out, delusion. I mean, at what point does the delusion stop? But on that conversation, I've just got a couple of comments here from social media, and in the interest of a balanced argument, I've picked up some really positives that have come from the Blues fans and some neutrals, and I've picked up some of the funnier comments.
Yeah, go for it.
And again, it just shows that balance of where we are, what people are giving on social media.
Yeah, go for it. This will be interesting.
I'll do the positives first. So, absolutely love it. Can't believe this is happening in my lifetime. I think you can relate to that, Dad, can't you?
I'd never believed it. I'd never believed that in my lifetime I'd ever see this. I'm sure people of my age would feel exactly the same.
Exactly, yeah. And it says, we can't not call it unique. Last thing we wanted was a flat pack, rinse and repeat, soulless bowl, exactly what we alluded to earlier. Yeah. Iconic nod to the industrial history of Birmingham, wonderful. New memories for me and my family to be made as a Birmingham City family. Like it or not, you're talking about it, love it, drink the tears. Again, it kind of comes back to what you were saying again. And again, here's some of the more funnier, sarcastic comments. And I must admit, some of these did make me chuckle as well. So, looks like Homer Simpson's workplace.
Yeah, I saw that one.
The Titanic called, it wants its masts back. We can honestly say that, who can honestly say that looks any good? Looks like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Why are they recreating Battersea Power Station?
Yeah, and I saw all those as well. Yeah. But you know what? I said to you, Matt, before, I think we did a pod a couple of weeks ago, and I said to you, we were talking about the reveal, which was about to happen. And I actually said to you, fans, even at that point, would have had comments lined up already. So they're already been there.
Look, Dad, we have rivals. Yeah. We live in a city, obviously Aston Villa are our biggest rival. If they were releasing a stadium, and even if I loved it, the feedback they're getting is it's rubbish. And that's just how it works. That's how a rivalry works. And no matter what the Villa fans say, Coventry fans say, Wolves fans say, who cares, especially the clubs in our local proximity. The way a rivalry works is you never give them any credit or anything. You always hate what they do. Yeah. And that's all this is. It's just that rivalry, that banter. And we're never going to get our moment in the glory from them. And who cares? It just doesn't matter.
Do you know what? Any set of fans, and some to be fair, some fans have been open and honest from other clubs and said that looks absolutely fantastic. And they said it's finally a stadium with a bit of interest, a bit of character about it. And and that's good. But any set of fans would swap with us. Obviously, you might get the bigger Premier League clubs that have got big stadiums already that may have a slightly different view, like your Tottenhams and your Liverpools and whatever, and Newcastles. But most clubs would swap their position with us in a heartbeat. And if that was produced and landed on their doorstep, they, regardless of what they think, they would absolutely love it.
Yeah. Also, though, do you think some people don't understand the significance of Birmingham City and the industrial? I guess I keep saying the Industrial Revolution, but the industrial heritage of the city.
Of course they don't.
So like they're looking at the chimneys, going, "What on earth is that?" But they're actually not realising the deep history that Birmingham had in regards to.
When that stadium's built, Matt, it's going to be a permanent reminder of the history of Birmingham. That's what we wanted, and because. That's really, really important. Our heritage and the city of Birmingham, has got a massive history of brick manufacturing, and other types of trades as well. And this is going to remind us, 20, 30, even beyond my lifetime, people will look at that stadium and they'll remember the heritage. So I think they've done an absolutely fabulous job. And it's a modern stadium. I just want to read a little bit about what Elliot Postma said. He was at the event from Heatherwick Architects, and he said, I've no doubt this stadium is ashamedly future-based. You can see that from the inside as well. So we wanted to grow the building out of the site. It's located but they aren't just Victorian chimneys. They are hard-working, innovative pieces of structure that happen to have a material link to the past. But this is an incredible piece of engineering. These chimneys are holding up the roof. This is going to be a very tall stadium, as you mentioned, can be viewed from 40 miles away. They are part of the natural ventilation strategy, and they're providing amazing framed entrances. They're going to be experiences to be enjoyed inside the chimneys. You'll be able to move around inside of them, in some of them. So we absolutely set it as a cutting edge of a stadium design. Has a retractable roof, a movable pitch. It will be a place that will host football, but also every event under the sun. This from the world's biggest touring concerts to boxing matches and to the NFL. It's absolutely up there. We've got the most modern stadium in the UK, in the world, and modern stadium in the UK, in the world, and we couldn't be more excited about it. I mean, it's something I really nice. What is interesting as well? Obviously the chimneys are the big talking points.
That's the polarising part of it, isn't it? People seem to really love it or they seem to really hate it. Obviously, a lot of Blues fans love it, but that's the polarising element, is the chimneys.
I absolutely love them. And obviously, from my background of building surveying, obviously, what people don't realise is that they're which is actually said in that statement, they're they're not just there as sort of visible sort of additions that are false. They are workable, important parts of the structure. So basically, firstly, ventilation. So what they will use, and this is going to save an absolute fortune in mechanical ventilation. They'll use something called the stack system, right? Which again, I won't get too technical here, but basically, it's a natural ventilation system that they use some of the chimneys for. So all the heat that's built up in the stadium, particularly when it's got the roof on. What happens is that warm air is lighter than cold air. So when the warm air is generated in the stadium, it will displace all the cold air, which goes down the bottom and vent it out. But what they've got, they'll have ducts in the bottom, which will bring in and introduce new cold air, which provides a stack system, which provides natural ventilation. So rather than having all this mechanical ventilation, you won't need huge amounts of it. You will need it in certain parts of the stadium, but not there. So again, it's very clever, but very importantly, it's the structure. One of them is going to be 120 metres high, and I believe it's going to have the highest bar in Birmingham.
Right,
it's going to have a bar, but they're going to use some of them for escalators and lifts and stuff like that. But it's mainly structure. So to provide that size and height of stadium, obviously they've got vertical banks, so therefore the roof's going to be very, very high. Now, if you didn't have those chimneys, you'd have to support that roof, and it would result in massive pieces of steel. Usually they use something like tension pins or cantilevering to support them, and that would be visible from the outside. But because these are huge bulk structures, they're going to provide the support for the roof and allows you to build that high, which you couldn't do unless you got some really clever engineering and lots of steel and concrete. So, so basically, those chimneys are not just the visual. They're not just the visual. This is what Birmingham was. The history of Birmingham. They're actually going to be. And do you see the rendering as well, Matt? Where some of the entrances, you actually walk through the middle of the chimneys. It's absolutely amazing. I couldn't be more happier, and because of what I do, I look at things architecturally, and I think it's absolutely going to be stunning. I do think it will become a place to visit.
Agreed.
I
Yeah,
think
almost like a landmark.
Yeah, a landmark.
It'll be a landmark of Birmingham,
Yeah.
really. And
It
also,
won't,
Dad,
it won't just be football fans and concert fans. It will be people coming to Birmingham to view that stadium.
and I think, Dad, rivalries aside, banter aside, I think it's really important to highlight this is going to be incredible for the city of Birmingham.
Yeah.
Jobs, the local economy. There's going to be bars, there'll be restaurants. And I said, looking back to those CGI renders, Dad, I love the one on the train. There's like a train coming through,
yeah,
and you can see. And again, when you think about the city of Birmingham, people coming to visit it, the local economy, all these different things, it's going to just be brilliant for Birmingham, especially, and everyone knows it, in an invested part of the city. It needs investment, and that's going to be just going to be mind blowing.
Oh, God, I've already picked my seat. I've been around the renderings, and I thought I fancy sitting there. So I've already been.
Was it Chris Davis' seat?
Well, no. Well, maybe that's what they'll do with the chimneys. Every time we change manager, when you have a new pope, they put the smoke out. Maybe if we ever replace our manager, we'll have blue smoke coming out. So we've got a new manager and stuff like that. But I'm absolutely buzzing with it, and I'm so. I know we didn't know what it was going to be like until that launch event. We had inklings of Tom Wagner telling how it was going to be designed, but when you actually see it and you look at it, 1.2 billion as well. It's going to cost. That's a lot. And
is that the stadium alone?
No, that's just the stadium. 1.2 billion. It is, as you'd imagine, it's the centerpiece of the whole sports quarter. So it would be the most, but. That suggests to me that the sports quarter is probably, with everything else that's going to be there's going to be an arena in the sports quarter.
2 billion, do you reckon?
No.
2.5, 3 billion.
I reckon 3 to 4 billion.
3 to 4 billion.
Yeah. I think Tom Wagner won't like seeing that, but I'm guessing that if they've got 1.2 billion for the stadium alone, the rest of it with they're going to build an arena, they're going to build a women's stadium, they're going to build the training grounds for the men's and women's teams. There's going to be commercial development there, offices. Shops and bars and restaurants and everything else. I'm guessing. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm thinking 3 to 4 billion.
Right.
I think for the whole sports quarter.
He's done the right things with the government and the council.
Yeah.
He's got funding. He's got the support of the local, the important people in the local area. So hopefully, the mayor. Sorry, that's another good one. Yeah. So hopefully, we don't get too much red tape. I mean, you know this better than anyone in terms of being a building surveyor. It is still a complicated process, isn't it? The red tape involved, getting the planning permission, going through the councils, getting the government, funding all these things. Those things take time, but. It's still exciting. The fact that we've now seen the plans. There's a 5-year deadline on this, isn't there? The 2030.
It's very optimistic, that is. But with Tom Wagner, you can never.
100%. I was gonna say,
never doubt him.
Really quickly before we close, Dad, 5 years, you're a building surveyor. You've seen the chimneys. You've just spoken to the structural integrity of them, and 5 years. Is it doable?
Anything's doable with the right motivation, the right time. Obviously, they'll have Tom Wagner will push every step. But I mean, again, I'm looking at those chimneys now as a former bricklayer. I would like to build them. I love. Do you know? Have you seen the ones where they've got the actual the BCFC logo in?
It's amazing.
Isn't it? It looks absolutely stuff. But somebody's got to build that.
Yeah.
It's going to be like doing a jigsaw, but it's going to be absolutely fabulous. One final thing before I finish, Matt. I want to talk about the impact this is going to have for us as a club, because it's beautiful. We're going to love going there, but we're going to attract the best players. When we get the team that we want, and it might take a year or two to get to the level we need to be. Let's be honest with where we are now. But the revenue it's going to generate is going to allow us to have a huge amount of impact in transfer markets, because everything in the sports quarter is club revenue. Yeah. For us, this is a game changer. This stadium and this sports quarter changes everything for us. I mean, everything. We might be a bit sluggish for we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen this season. It might take us a couple of years to get the players that we want, because obviously we still have to work within the financial boundaries. But the more revenue you've got, the more scope you have to do that. But we will get there. And then when we do get into the Premier League, you can see players are going to want to go and play in that stadium.
100%.
So it's all looking really, really positive. I'm so blown away really by what I saw, and well done to everybody involved with that. It's really exciting future, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. No, it's really exciting, Dad. I can't wait to. I say get down there. That sounds obviously ridiculously. What would it be called? Jumping the gun. I love St.Andrews, and that's also, Dad, another thing to this element. It's going to be a really sad day, isn't it, to leave St.Andrews? It's all a lot of Blues fans have ever known. In fact, it's the only stadium Blues fans have ever known. But ultimately, we have to look to the future, don't we?
Now Blues fans can see what the transition is going to be. They're going to see where they're going now. So you'll have the emotional links and the history of St Andrews, of course, but we know we need to progress as a club in the future, and we're not a million miles away from St Andrews, but we won't be there. So that will be a bit of an emotional pull, but with what we saw yesterday, I think it's made it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I must admit, no, it's exciting, but that last walk for us back down the Tilton to our car, the last ever time we do that at St.Andrews will definitely be an emotional day, won't it?
Yeah, so will the first walk to the new stadium.
That's exactly how I was going to end it, but so will that positive walk to the new
Yeah.
stadium. So
Yeah.
I always look forward to the positives, and thank you to, I guess, Tom Wagner and Knighthead for investing in the club.
Yeah.
If you'd have told me we are where we are now 3 years ago, I'd have never believed you.
Nobody would. I mean, people have been laughing at us for years, Matt. Particularly when the Tom Wagner and Knighthead first took over and said they were going to do this and they're going to do that. But he's proving that he's a man of his word.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we couldn't be more happy. He's a great owner, isn't he?
He is. He is a great owner. Any final thoughts? We're going to close the video out. So,
No. Obviously, we want to get Blues fans' opinions of the
of course.
of the stadium and other fans as well. Obviously, other fans will watch this as well. I'm sure what people, and again, architecture, and it is architecture, is about opinion, and people will like it and people won't, and that's absolutely fine. All what I say, as always, which I'm sure Matt will remind you, is we just keep our comments respectful, please.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for doing that for me. But as always, Birmingham City supporters, we would love to hear from you. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm sure you were just as excited and as buzzing as we were to see the new plans. And as you said, when we leave St.Andrews, it'll be a sad day, but when we get into the new stadium, it will just be an absolutely new beginning, fresh start, and a chance to really put that Birmingham City reputation on the world stage. But yeah, if you did like this video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, we have an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify, so you can listen and watch us over there. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and press that bell icon so you get notified every time we post. And myself and Dad will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.